What's up, guys? We are back working on the Foxbody. It's been a little bit since my last update video. We did new gaskets on the valve covers, we've done brakes, we've done stuff like that. The car's been driven most of the latter part of 23. It'll be, I think at the end of April will be 1 year of ownership. But anyway, we had rear main seal leak under the car. There was a lot of oil. So what we're doing now is we've pulled the transmission, so you guys can see all that caked up oil on there, and it's just all underneath the car. We have not pulled the flywheel off yet, but I want to get a good look behind there to see what's actually going on. So hopefully we could resolve this issue and won't be any more severe oil leak. It's just anywhere you parked it would be a lot of oil. And let's see, we got Mac Shorty headers for it. We've got we're putting a new water pump. We're gonna do a nice radiator, brand new fan, smog pump delete, and we've got a lot of trim pieces. So we're working on removing all the trim here. We're gonna hopefully paint the mirrors, replace all this trim here. Here's our parts. New parts. There's the new SVE radiator fan. We got some trim paint for the trim. We got some weather stripping, new fan clutch. Here's the Shorty headers. We got an off-road H pipe. Here's some window trim. We got new motor mounts because the motor mounts over there is bad. Here's some of the old parts. So it's a slow working progress here. And tonight we spent most of 2-3 hours getting this transmission out of here. So keep watching, and hopefully we will see what's behind that flywheel, because we're real curious to see what's going on back there. And we'll eventually get the car put back together and fire it up and take a listen to it with the new headers and the off-road H-pipe and that kind of stuff. So we're working on the Foxbody. Alright guys, it's been a few days since we worked on the car, and we finally got the flywheel off. We got the old rear main seal out. That's it. And we got the new one in. That's what it looks like. Hopefully this fixes the problem. And we ended up sealing that NPT plug there, and that one there, and this one here we couldn't get off, so we just didn't want to strip it any more than we already did. But we did see some oil around those. But we sprayed everything down with a brake parts cleaner, just to kind of clean the back of this. We cleaned the oil pan too. So hopefully this fixes the massive oil leak. Guess we won't know till we get the car running again. But that's where we're at. I guess next we need to clean up the little flex plate piece and then the flywheel and get that all bolted back up. I got some thread tape on the flywheel bolts, and we're gonna work on replacing these motor mounts, because that one here on the passenger side is in pretty rough shape. And then we need to get these transmission cooler lines out and get those replaced with the new ones. And I think we'll do that once we get these motor mounts loose and the engine picked up. So I think we're going to work on that next, and then we'll start the process of putting the transmission back in here whenever we get a chance to work on this again. So a couple hours at a time. It's really not that bad of a job. You just gotta do it one day at a time, I guess. So we'll check back in with you guys here shortly with another update. Okay, it's been a couple days since we had a chance to work on the car, and things escalated quickly today. After looking at the rear main seal, we still saw oil kind of leaking down under the pan. Well, guess what? We decided to replace the entire oil pan gasket, which took us quite a bit of time to do. Really wasn't too bad, but we went with a Felpro one-piece silicone gasket. So we lifted the motor again. You can see we got it up. We dropped the pan, we kind of cleaned everything the best we could. We put our TV in the corners and then sandwiched everything back together, tightened the bolts from the center out, and we hope that this works. We're gonna cross our fingers. So what we're gonna do next is drop this engine down back into its place. We still need to replace the gasket on the low oil sensor. We had a leak there as well, and then we're gonna put new drain plugs in the front and back. So hopefully this solves all the problems. And then we spent a couple hours today cleaning the transmission. If you see it over there, a lot of degreaser and scrubbing to get all that oil gunk off there. So I think now, since we got this buttoned up, we can begin the process of putting the transmission back in, the flywheel on and whatnot, get the new headers installed and all that good stuff. So it's all downhill from here. Alright guys, here we are, we're under the car, got the transmission pushed in, we got the flywheel on, and we're gonna try to pick up the transmission, get it onto the jack, because we don't have the car high enough to where you could put the transmission on the jack and just roll it under here. We'd have to get the car up like 10 more inches, and I've already got it pretty high, so we're gonna have to muscle this thing up and onto there. Hopefully we could do it. We got to do that all in the center of the transmission tunnel. That's where we're gonna have to pick up on it. We're gonna try to use the jack to help us in our favor, to try to help pick up at least the front, and then we'll just pick up the back and get it up on top of this transmission jack. So check back with us here in a second. Hopefully we got this thing in the air going into place. All right, there it is. We muscled that transmission up onto the transmission jack. And now all we have to do is just slowly jack it into place, reconnect these lines here. We got 1, 2, 3 lines here. We got this contraption here to put back in place, and the bolts. There's 6 bolts, I think it is. And then there's a cable up there too that needs to be installed. The hard part is to get the 2 bolts way up at the top. That's the difficult ones. So we'll see how far we get tonight. I'm not sure that we'll get it all 100% put together, but we need to at least get 4 bolts in there. Start figuring out where these cables went again and that sort of stuff. So we'll be working on that for the next hour. Alright guys, we're gonna quit for tonight. We have definitely made a lot of progress. Let me show you under here. We got the transmission mounted. We just got to tighten up some bolts. We got everything plugged back in. Got to hook up the transmission cooler lines. But the transmission's back in. So we don't got too much more left to do. Got to get the drive shaft bolted in. It's almost midnight, so we're going to call it quits. Gonna bolt the headers on. Gonna bolt the H pipe on. Get the water pump on. Get the radiator in. So we're making some progress here. A couple more days worth of work. Okay, it's the next day. We got everything pretty well buttoned up underneath the car. There really ain't much to show you under there, but we got the drive shaft in tonight. We tightened up a bunch of bolts. We We got the starter in. We got the trans cooler lines. These are brand new stainless lines that you could order online. Get those in. We still need to clean underneath the transmission, so ignore all that nasty stuff. We'll get that nice and scrubbed clean. But the starter's in. Those stainless lines are pretty nice. They went right in, no problem. Drive shaft's in. Everything's tightened up. We got all these tightened up too. And then we started to put the headers in, but we ran into a little problem. We have the wrong header gasket right now, so we need to figure out what the correct header gasket is. What we had just did not work, but we rested the header in there for now until we can go find, until we go find the correct header gasket. We ended up putting the water pump on, brand new from LMR, or wait, where'd you get this water pump? O'Reilly's. Okay. A lot of parts we got from LMR, so. And then we ended up painting that nice and clean. The bolts came from LMR, right?
Yes.
Yeah, bolts came from LMR, that's what it was. And then we painted that, installed all this stuff. We got the smog pump delete there. So there's really not a whole lot left. We just got to put the water pump pulley, the belt, the fan, which we got a brand new fan, brand new radiator hoses, which is over here. Here's all the parts for that. There's the hoses, the nice SVE radiator, brand new fan, and a brand new fan clutch is sitting over there on the table.
And the cover for.
And then this little hold down, radiator hold down cover.
Yep.
And then what else? Here's the old parts. Old stuff. Our brother's been working on replacing these, so these are new. And then this is still the old.
That's still the old one.
The old weather stripping, and on the driver's side, we already show you that. Put the weather stripping on the driver's side, and all this stuff came from LMR. Let me show you this.
Stuff here, we're going to have that powder coat that's at the shop.
So that's been replaced, and then this is the new weather stripping going around the door. We need to cut it right there, and then
this stuff.
all these have all been removed, and they're going to be powder coated black satin. So the rear was removed. The front windshield trim was removed.
We have a brand new cowl.
Yeah, we got the brand new piece that goes here. Were the wipers powder coated?
No, I spray painted them.
Spray painted those. And we need to paint the mirrors. We got to get this removed. This was removed. We're going to remove that, right?
Yes.
That's coming off. This is coming off too, right? These are coming off, and then we're going to mask everything and get these door frames painted black. Right now they're like a faded color. Almost looks blue. Doesn't that almost got like a hint of blue in there? But anyway, we're gonna make the doors at least look nice. I know the paint's kind of rough, but at least we'll get the door frames and everything and the trim nice and black again. I think this car would look good with some tinted windows eventually, just to kind of blend it all together. But like I said, this is a slow project. This other stuff needed to get done first, for sure. All right, we'll be back with another update on rescuing a Foxbody. Hopefully in the next clip, we'll have most of this buttoned up and in place. All right, we've made some progress on the car. And we got the radiator in. That turned out pretty nice. We got the new fan clutch on there. Put the belt back on. Got the shroud on. Fan shrouds back on. Brand new fan. So that turned out pretty nice. We got new upper and lower radiator hoses. So that's all pretty much buttoned up. We are currently waiting for a set of headers to come in the mail. The set of headers I showed earlier on in the video, they just didn't work out. So we got a brand new set of BBK shorties, and we're waiting for those to come in the mail. Once they come here in the mail and we get them installed, we got to get the headers on and the H pipe on, and we can drop this car in the ground and get that part of this done and over with. At least the car can be up and running. Got a bunch of parts back from Powder Coat. All the trim that goes around the glass. And this was installed tonight. This is on the rear hatch. These have all been powder coated and look real nice. And then we got the fronts is also powder coated. We just need to get that installed. And then I think got some, what did you do on the doors? Removed some of the, I know the door panels are off. Maybe open that passenger door. Door panels off. We got to work on replacing this piece here. You can see it's all, I think that's a common spot for them to break here. And it's just overall, you know, deteriorated. It's real hard. So we got that new. We got to get that replaced. And that's about it for this little update. This will be replaced as well. And we got to paint this black still, so there's still some trim work to be done. Here's the antenna, powder coated, fresh. This is a satin finish, and that was done as well. It's a little antenna plate. There's a H pipe there, and we got to get the mirrors painted. It's still cold here in Missouri. We're waiting for a nice warmer day to get this stuff painted. And we got my brother found a super nice set of Mack mufflers, original Mack mufflers with super low miles. They look brand new. And I don't have them here, or else I'd show them to you, but we will eventually. And those will go on the car. They got the Mack stamped on them. So that's what we were going for, what we needed. But that's your little update. Hopefully, we'll have this car running soon. And we'll get a startup, check for leaks, and get this car back on the road. Stay tuned. Keep watching. Quick update. We now have headers. The new headers came in the mail on Sunday, and we got them installed now. These are just BBK unequal length shorties. Dipstick tube went back in place. We had to remove the dipstick tube. And then the passenger side looks like this. We're gonna have to do something with this AC line because it's touching that header tube. We'll address that here later. And we test fitted the H pipe. Looks like it works out perfect. Although this side, the flange is close to the engine block, kind of down in there. I don't know if how well you could see that. That is super close to the corner. I think that might be either the transmission or the engine block down there. Almost looks like it's touching, but it fit. So, and now we need to tackle this transmission dipstick tube. We have a leak. We replaced the O-ring with just an O'Reilly O-ring packet, and it's leaking. So we went to a local Ford dealership, and they had what they claim is the correct O-ring. Here it is, part number. There's the part number on that O-ring seal. Came with a pack of 3. So
they were
we need
$1 a piece.
Yeah, $1 each at a local Ford dealership. So we need to get under there and unbolt that dipstick tube and slip on the new O-ring real quick and jam it back in there. And hopefully it seals that, because pretty sure with the car running and warm, that's going to leak real bad the way that it is now. So we better get that fixed. We're downhill from here.
Yeah.
There's not much left to do. H-pipe, we got to put this stuff back on, put the spark plugs on and that kind of stuff, put antifreeze in there. Still working on the trim on the car. We gotta put the interior back together, but at least we can get the car running and down off the race ramps. So, all right, stay tuned, keep watching. All right, we made a lot of progress today. Headers are on. We fixed the dipstick tube. The O-ring snapped in, or the dipstick tube snapped in real nice with that new O-ring. That worked out perfect. Put the spark plugs, the spark plug wires. We got the air box back in. We got the H pipe in there. We need some bolts where the H pipe bolts to the muffler. We need to buy some bolts there, but we got it up in place. It's got oil in it. I think we're gonna fire this thing up, let it run for about a minute just to see what it does. Yeah, so let's give it a try. All right, let's see if this thing fires up. Go ahead.
Ready?
There you go. We did all that work. That's a good feeling.
Oh yeah.
Started right up. I mean, we had this whole thing apart. I mean, at one point in time, we had the whole engine just swinging from the hoist. Wow, it fired right up and everything sounded good under the hood. I didn't hear any header leaks or nothing, but obviously this car needs a real good heat cycle. Just to kind of burn off all the oils and whatnot from us handling the headers. So I'm pretty sure eventually once that gets hot enough, it'll smoke a little bit. And we just need to connect the H pipe, the off-road H pipe, to the mufflers now with some bolts. But man, I think we did a good job on this thing. We replaced the oil pan gasket, the rear main seal, we had the transmission out. I think late last year, whenever it was last year, at some point in time we did the valve cover gaskets. And I mean, this car had a lot of oil leaks for being, what, 30-something years old? 33 years old. I mean, we're trying our best to just get it as a good, decent cruiser. But yeah, new radiator, the fan. The fan was blowing a lot of air, I felt it. So yeah, wow, it sounded good. I don't know what it'll sound like once we connect I get the stock mufflers, whatever mufflers are under there right now. I don't know what they are, but eventually we got to take the car to the exhaust shop and have them cut out those mufflers and put in the Mac mufflers, and it should sound good, I would think.
And we have new brand new flow tubes.
Yeah, we got flow tubes, which is basically from the H pipe to the muffler. Yeah, to the front of the muffler. We got that brand new because the ones under now have like a 4-inch long crack. It's just rotted out. That was an exhaust leak for all this time. So, well, we're happy with that. We did a good job. We got a lot of work done, and what's left really now is all this trim work, and hopefully that turns out good. We're gonna, kind of sand this and sand that a little bit, just clean it real well, and just spray paint it. Got to mask everything off, and we'll get to that soon. It's still cold here in Missouri. It's like 45 degrees right now, so we're waiting for some warmer weather. It's right around the corner. It's the end of March. April's almost here. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep watching. I'm gonna have a couple more little updates, and this car should be complete and back on the road here soon. All right, this is the passenger side. Got the car all masked off. Got some cardboard down. Everything's been wet sanded, smooth. I feel like got it masked off pretty good. Got to do this little corner here. And then we've got to do the inside of the door frame. And then the outside of the door frame here. A couple light coats I think should do it. So let's see how this turns out. We're using this black trim paint here. You can get this at LMR. It's SEM 39143 trim black. Then once this side's done and dry, we'll mask up the driver's side. I think that's our best bet here for this. Let's see how it turns out. All right, couple light coats I put on. The key thing here is light coats. Why? Because this stuff is a little watery looking. So your best bet is to do very light coats. It kind of spits when it comes out. So be careful. If you do get a run, you're in time to wipe it real quick and reapply. But yeah, it turned out nice. Just drying. I might put another little tiny light coat just for good measure, but I'd say this side's done. Looks nice and clean. Gonna probably do another little tiny light coat just in case I missed a spot. I think I see a little bit something there on that edge. We could probably use a little touch up, but I don't want to get too crazy with this stuff because again, it comes out a little watery. I don't want any runs. So far so good, and I think that's successful for this side. Plus it's going to look sharp when it's all put back together. Everything nice and new, the new rubber and all that. Mirrors have been painted already. You know, the paint's not that great on the car, but hey, at least the trim is looking nice. I mean, the trim was looking pretty rough there for a little while here, for over the past year, so hey, it's something. All right, we got the masking tape and everything off of the side. It turned out pretty good. I ended up putting a couple more coats on. I think the key here is to put 3 or 4 coats on. It does end up being just a little textured. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but it ain't too bad. The door jamb here turned out real nice and clean. Got the weather stripping back on. It's fresh. Now let's go over to the driver's side. We got our little helpers out here today. So we got the driver's side all masked up. And let me show you what this side looks like. See how it kind of looks all... Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Just no paint worn down. So we're gonna get this side painted up here in a second. We get the kids inside. So we'll see how this turns out here in a minute. All right, we got this lower piece installed. So the rivets we used here are 5/32. And we needed to use a 5/32 drill bit to kind of, it needed to be drilled just a little bit to get that rivet set in there. And then we used just a Harbor Freight rivet gun and we got that on there. So this side is coming along pretty good. Let's go take a look at this side here. Here, let's show them the little holes. See, here's your little holes. There's 3 of them right there. You just gotta drill it out a little bit and always be careful. There's a glass back here, so whenever you drill that one, kind of put a little piece of wood or something behind it. So that's all it took. Just a little tiny cleanup. You got that
yeah, it's on the other side. We could do this side.
Let me clear it. Let me grab that piece of wood. See, we're just using this right here. bit. That's it. Now, show them the piece that goes on here. You have to trim a little bit off the front, just a very tiny bit. So that's what we did on the other side. Is we took a little bit off, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see how this side goes on. I'm not 100%.
This side might not need it.
Well, I'm not 100% sure that we really had to on the other side, because we had to. Don't forget, we got to put the
Felt piece.
The felt piece in. But anyway, this is the idea. This goes on there like that, and then you rivet it together. Still need to get this piece on. So we'll work on this, and we'll come back with you here in a second. Okay, that's it. We got the rivet in there like that. Go.
What's that?
Alright, that's the last one. Now we're gonna put this trim goes on next, right? And then the mirrors. We put the mirrors on, and that's pretty much it, right? For the doors.
Yeah.
We could put the door panels back on, right? That buttons up this. Almost done with this car. We're putting the last final touches on this part here. That's how that side ended up looking. It turned out pretty good. There you go. Huge improvement over what it used to look like. I mean, it was terrible. But now it's real nice. Nice and black. Now I just need to tint these windows, kind of blend all the darkness in, and then we still need to get this front trim on and that cowl piece, so we're almost there. On this side, what? We just need to put this trim here and the mirror on, and then this side's done. Looking good so far. Alright guys, it is now April 14th, 2024, and we are finished. I think we started this project at the beginning of February, and we just took our time, did all the engine work, the exhaust work, had the transmission out, fixed all the oil leaks, then we focused on all the trim work, and it turned out pretty good. Today we just put the cowl on, all the trim around the front windshield, the wiper arms, got the door panels back on, got that window felt in the track. Turned out pretty good. It definitely helped the car out by a bunch. It used to look really bad, faded. All this stuff was cracked. All this stuff was white and dry rotted, cracked. All this was brittle. So now it's all fresh and clean. And I think once there's some window tint on here, it'll really make it pop even more. Next step is exhaust work. We need to get those Mac mufflers welded in place, and we need a little bit of work on the H pipe. But other than that, it's pretty much ready to fire up and take it for a test drive. Other than that, it needs to go to the muffler shop. Alright, so we're slowly restoring the car, and we've made it to this point. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep watching. Hopefully one day we can get this car painted, and once this car does get a fresh paint job, it is going to look sharp and be complete, and it'll be a super nice restored Fox body. A little at a time, and I think slowly it'll get there. I'm over here at JMB Performance and Powder Coat here in Hillsboro, Missouri, dropping off the Mustang. I'm having them install my Mac mufflers and fix the off-road H-pipe. It should be ready tomorrow, so I'll get you guys some more video sound clips when we get it back. Stay tuned. All right, I'm back at the shop hanging up the Mustang. Here's a little sound clip of it. There you have it. Sounds sweet. Alright guys, we're finally done with the car. It is May 23rd, 2024. We had a little bit of a delay on the exhaust, but we finally got it figured out. We ended up taking the car to JMB Performance in Hillsboro, Missouri. They did a great job on it. I'm going to insert some pictures here to show you what they did. They basically needed to replace the ball and socket on the H-pipe because it was old, worn out, and cracked, and it was not making a good seal. So they got that repaired, and then they welded in the new Mac mufflers and got some new hangers on there, and now it's all sealed up pretty good. There's no more leaks and everything sounds good like it should. Other than that, yeah, the paint that we did on there looks pretty good, turned out real nice. So we're gonna start up the car now and get some sound clips for you guys. You can probably hear all those cicadas in the background. We're in Missouri and they are going nuts. There's a ton of cicadas out here, so we're gonna fire up the Mustang and drown out the sound of those cicadas. That's what we're about to do. way better than what it was before. Those stock mufflers just didn't bring the sound of the 5.0 out. So thanks for watching another updated video. Hopefully we could bring more content to you guys for the Foxbody. Not really sure what's next on it, but we're thinking 355 gears. Try to wake it up off the line. Probably tint the windows, get rid of that fishbowl look. And yeah, this car has a lot of potential. I mean, you're a paint job away from a super nice clean Foxbody. And performance wise, there's so many options out there. You can put a Coyote in this thing. You can put a good built 331 or a 347. There's a lot of options out there. One day we'll see. We'll eventually get there, but for now, just gonna enjoy it and take it to some car meets and some car cruises and have some fun in it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back with another episode soon.